Okay, so GEN has been in a very large development process in the North American region. Originally, when GEN was founded, ENA was one of the 3 regions that existed, and over time, it's developed into CASA and the Eco Village network of Canada as well. So during this week, we've been having conversations as ENA about what does that really leave us with if we have the Eco Village network of Canada and CASA in Latin America. Essentially, ENA has now become GEN+US. So in this conference, we've made the decision to go ahead and recognize that fact to allow us to come together in a larger council that will be called GENA. In these conversations, the Fellowship for Intentional Communities is an organization that's been doing a tremendous amount of work in North America. A few representatives have been here this week from them. And so we're very much interested in working with this organization that's been around for 30 years and has become economically self-sufficient, or has been economically self-sufficient throughout its lifetime. So now, the 3 on the left, the Fellowship for Intentional Communities, Eco Village Network of Canada, and ENA, which is now transitioning to GEN+US, as well as NextGen, which is what we're both representatives of, are coming together to create a new council to represent the GEN North American region.
Wonderful. So these are a few photos from the conference at Schwalbenalp, the GEN conference, that happened 2 years ago. And I think in both our personal lives and in the history of GEN, this was a very pivotal conference. This is where we met and discovered that we were both from the same area, grew up just a few towns apart, yet we had to go all the way to Switzerland to figure that out. And it also was a really important time for NextGen, because this is where we set up a structure for how we were going to formulate our organization. And what we came up with was that we would have 2 representatives for each of the 5 regions, as well as 2 international representatives. So I was named one of the North American representatives, along with Nebezna Fortin, who's from Canada, and Nick was named one of the international representatives at that conference. Yeah.
So after this wonderful conference where we met, and finally it seemed that NextGen was getting some more structure and more solidity going on around it, I'd been living at a community called Sirius, which is a 35-year-old eco-village in western Massachusetts, inspired by 2 brothers who lived here at Findhorn, American brothers, in the 1970s. So they went back to the States to try and start something similar, and in 2012, I found this beautiful eco-village nestled into the pine forests of western Massachusetts and promptly moved there, despite being the only person between 18 and 50 in the community. With all of this new fire from NextGen, soon I found Cynthia moving to Sirius, Caroline, who's sitting in the back, and a few other beautiful souls to create a NextGen hub in North America, along with, of course, Nebezna, who was our Canadian regional representative from La Cité, which we just heard about.
So one of the first things we did as a group was come up with a mission statement for North America, NextGen in North America. You know, who are we? What are we going to do? And who are we? So we came up with this lovely little phrase about how we are looking at the eco-village as a model, as an opportunity to bring young people in to experience what the eco-village has to teach. And we decided we were going to do that through creating 2 programs, both an Eco-Village Ambassador program, really connecting young people and people who want to bring energy and life into their community across North America, and our Educator program, which was more focused on creating workshops and events, mostly in eco-villages, so to bring new energy in through educational and immersive experiences. And we also created a website, which is a really big thing. I learned a lot about IT and graphic design and kind of that whole side of the organization, which is hugely important. And you can see here all of the different programs that we have and our events. Yeah.
So in our approach, there were two main ways that we wanted information to be flowing. One was having people come into the eco-villages and experience what life is like there, and the other was to go out and really bring forward some of, the insights that the eco-village model gives to us. So the ambassadors were a network of young people or people very interested in bringing more young people into their community to be able to organize and have conversations about the struggles that a lot of eco-villages face, or about sharing new technologies to bring young people into them. So a lot of communities actually struggle with this gap effect, which is missing people in the young adult zone of about 18 to 30. And so we really wanted to create a network of people in communities who, even if they were the only person there, having had my experience at Sirius, it would have been really valuable to be able to connect with other people who are in a similar situation, or just have some guidance in terms of how I could bring young people to the community.
Right. So right now we have almost 15 ambassadors. They all have profiles on our website, and they are meeting regularly, either in the virtual realms or sometimes physically, having meetups.
And on the top right, that is Nebezna from La Cité, our other North American regional representative. Our education program, again, was largely based and inspired by the Gaia Education Mandala, which I'm sure we're familiar with, but bringing this out into communities around us, so going into schools, going into places where young people were gathering to bring this information. Yeah. We did all kinds of different events, from tabling at universities to hosting events in communities, to music and arts festivals, and really just bringing it out there in as many different contexts as we could find.
Yeah. We're excited that our programs are certified as inspired by Gaia Education, so they're a close partner. And excited, this is the Youth Eco Village Summit, which we had last year in the spring at Sirius Community in Massachusetts. It was an amazing event. We had about 40 young people from as far away as California and Canada coming together to talk about sustainability issues, specifically in eco-villages, and learn what this model had to teach. We also had locals from the area who were leaders in their respective fields come and give presentations. We had Giovanni Carlo from Gaia Education, and lots of other folks. It's great.
Yeah. And this event was actually a pretty major turning point in the demographics of Sirius. After this event, several people stayed on, and now at Sirius, about half the population is in their 20s and 30s.
Okay, we have 1 minute, so we'll go fast. We're hoping to have another Youth Eco Village Summit this year at Earth Haven in North Carolina. We're both moving down to the Asheville area, and so this is a eco-village nearby that we're really hoping to connect with, connecting both urban centers and eco-villages.
September 24th to 27th, if you know any young people in the US, or you want to fly across the ocean. As Oriel said, there's an EDE happening at La Cité, largely helped to happen by Nebezna, and I'll be going up there to help out with that as well.
Yeah, hence why Nebezna can't be here, because she's very busy preparing for this. It's going to be the first EDE taught in French in Canada.
And one of our other major projects is InterraTree, which is an eco-village solidarity movement between North America and West Africa, or Africa in general. We're in a transition phase right now after having hosted some volunteers there. So 5 years ago, I lived in West Africa, started a social enterprise to raise money for ecological design and permaculture education through cultural crafts that artists there were making.
This past winter, we had 2 volunteer trips to West Africa, so Americans and Europeans coming down to connect with locals to create something new and brilliant and sustainable together. So please stay tuned for upcoming trips, probably this coming winter, if you're interested. Great. That's it.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Nick. It's very heartwarming to hear what the young people are doing and how their energy is helping to support GEN and all the eco villages and everything that we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.